So, lads, Aliyah Boston. Aliyah Boston, she has officially won Player of the Week this week. And that is the second Player of the Week. I've actually don't know how many she's won. Did she win one as a rookie? Because I know she won one last year. I know she won one last year, so we're not too upset. Absolutely deserved. Absolutely deserved. Like, it is a kind of crazy one. Like, she has been, yeah, this is the first one she's won this week. It's a fit, or this one, Jesus, not obviously the first one she's won this week. The first one she has won this year. In 2024, she won one on June the 18th. And I didn't realize Caitlin Clark won 3 in a row last year. And in her rookie year, she in fact did win one Player of the Week. So she won one as a rookie. She's won one in each of the last 3 years. And in fairness, well deserved. It's not like the Indiana Fever didn't win back-to-back-to-back games. So the Fever went and won 3 straight. So obviously, that's a big thing, winning 3 straight games. And averaging 17 and 12 is big. Is genuinely big. So I have to say, like, the Indiana Fever team having 2 people winning Player of the Week awards, especially when their best player's been out, has been impressive. It's been impressive. So let's take a look at some of these clips. So obviously it is here. I have no idea if there's going to be playing any music. Is there?
Probably in the rim. Boston, good look inside. Howard lays it in.
She's really the rock of our team.
Mr. Conference Player of the Week. Austin, step through, lays it in. You can't stop her.
Footwork is top tier.
It's Boston taking over in the 4th. Boston, that's a tough bucket. How good has Aliyah Boston been?
And yeah, like, I didn't realize how low my mic is. I do want to apologize. I don't know what's wrong with my mic. Like, I've turned up all the volume on my mic. I think there's something wrong with my computer. But again, I have a new computer ready to come in and get going as soon as I move. As soon as I move house, I just don't want to change my entire setup because I'm moving very, very soon. But yeah, I want to apologize if my mic is really low. But let's take a look right here. The Indiana team won Aliyah Boston. It was announced that she went and won Player of the Week.
5 in a row. Let's keep building on that. Okay, number 2, welcome Chloe. Love it. And number 3, Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Aliyah Boston.
I love how Caitlin Clark's just chanting chug. The whole time Caitlin's just out there chanting chug. But yeah, the Indiana Fever have, whereas a lot of other teams are kind of folding right now, the Indiana Fever have had a successful week, and I got to give credit where credit's due. Like, you got to give credit for Aliyah stepping up. She is by far the most consistent player on this Fever team. By far their most consistent player. Especially since Caitlin's been injured. And that's the thing when it comes to Aliyah. Like, and the scariest thing is, like, how much better Aliyah Boston is with Caitlin than without Caitlin. Like, a hell of a player without Caitlin. She becomes, look, I'm not going to say she's better than Jonquel Jones, so I'm not going to say she's the best center. And considering the fact Paige is playing center right now, I'm not even going to go and call her the second best center. Because I think that that's a kind of crazy thing. But, like, third best. We can go third best. And that's not a knock on her saying she's the third best center in the WNBA. That is by no means in any way a knock on her saying she's that level of player. But yeah, like, it's been a good week for the Fever. It's been a really, really good week for the Fever. It seems like Caitlin Clark's injury, she's, by getting close to being back, it looks like she's coming back. So all this, like, she's out for the season, kind of, considering how much she's doing right now, I think we can stop with the whole she's out for the season talk. Like, she'll be back probably in the month of August. Almost certainly in the month of August to get her ready for the playoffs, especially because they go and play a game. I think is the Mystics they play, and then they then I think they have a week off, 6 days off after between games. So I would assume she plays the first of those 6. Or maybe she doesn't play any, and she's there ramping it up, practicing with the team during that week. But yeah, it's all around. It's been a really good time for the Indiana Fever, and you gotta give credit where credit's due to all these players stepping up. Because let's be real. Like, there was an over-reliance on Caitlin Clark being on the floor, even this season. Like, to say, at the Indiana Fever weren't 5-8 pre-All-Star break, or was it 5-8? Or was it 4-7? They were 4-7 at one stage without Caitlin Clark on the court. So, like, they were really struggling. They were really, really struggling. And the likes of Aliyah Boston stepping up, the likes of Kelsey Mitchell stepping up, Chloe Bibby stepping up, Natasha Howard stepping up. All of these players stepping up became a really big thing for the Indiana Fever. Became really important for the Fever, and became one of those things where you're like, okay, this team can function without Caitlin. And this team being able to function without Caitlin is freaking huge for it. Is absolutely huge for the Fever, even coming into the playoffs. Because let's be real, Caitlin's not going to be able to play 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. She's not. She's absolutely not. She's going to have to be in the playoffs. She is going to have to be I would say, if you're for the rest of the year to keep Caitlin safe, you play her, even though she's not on a quote unquote minutes restriction. And it's not like, oh, play her like 3 minutes at a time, but like, aim to play her 28. If she's killing it and you need to play her 34 minutes, cool. If she's struggling and you want to play her 23 minutes, cool. But in the playoffs, if you don't have to play her as much as maybe she would have had to have played last year. So yeah, it's a good, not a good problem. It's going to be great when Caitlin comes back for the Fever, because considering the fact that the Fever have the likes of Aliyah Boston winning Player of the Month. The Fever have Kelsey Mitchell, who has won Player of the Month as well. They have all of these players. And when Caitlin comes back, they are very, very quickly going to become one of the top teams in the WNBA again. And, well, I'm one of the top teams. They're going to be continually one of the top teams in terms of being contenders. And do I think they're really contenders? Not really. Not really. I think it is a tough one to be contenders with, to be true contenders. But if you're asking me, do I think maybe in a best of 7, I don't think they beat the Lynx or the Liberty. But do I think they could win a best of 5? Maybe. But do I think that the Aces or the Sparks or the Valks, if they can get them at home for Game 3, if they can take one on the road, the Valks in Valhalla, couldn't take out a Lynx or a Liberty before the Fever, and the Fever could go and fuck about and win the championship? That's completely possible, especially with players like this on the team.